I really like 3D platformers. It's probably my favorite genre of game. Some of them are good, some of them are great, and some of them are a hat in time. Gears for Breakfast literally didn't develop another game after this. They helped publish a couple, but like, they knew what they did. They came into the game, dropped a bombshell, and went, yep, we're done. But maybe I'm just remembering it wrong, and all this praise should be left to Metacritic. Or maybe not. But let's hop in and see if this game is worthy of the praise, or see if it belongs in the dumpster next to Glover.
First time.
We start on a spaceship as we take control of Hat Kid, which is such a funny name to me because like they never gave this child a name. They just distinguished her by the fact that she's a kid and she wears a hat. And if it was that easy, this would be Hat Kid. This would be Hat Kid too. And you know, maybe this could even be Hat Kid. But we see that her spaceship is decked out with everything I always wanted as an 8-year-old. And heck, stuff I even want now. She got a Roomba! But the game starts when Superman knocks on my door and breaks in, causing my obscure collection of hourglasses to be scattered across the planet. We go after them and land in what I think is maybe Italy and find Little Red Riding Hood with a mustache, and we have to chase her down, but it took no time for me to already be distracted by collectibles. But the premise of the game is to regain my obscure collection of hourglasses. As we collect more hourglasses, we can power the ship to open more doors, allowing us to access new areas and eventually go home. But we get our first one here by beating up this old guy using an umbrella. And then the next one you get from beating up many old guys with the same umbrella. And although they're all copies of the same dude, I feel like the original copy somewhere along the line was Jumba from Lilo and Stitch.
Mafia can't have child witness when Mafia teaching lesson.
We got fired this morning.
Right after that, we team up with Mustache Girl, who insults my fashion sense.
Your hat is basic.
But really, I'm not just calling her that, her name is literally Mustache Girl. Like, I'd love to see that birth certificate, right? Do you think she was born with a mustache, or do you think they named her that hoping she would grow one? Back down in Mafia Town, we get covered in some mud and get mistaken for a space alien. I knew this game was just Lilo and Stitch the whole time. And we move on to the casino level because every good video game has a casino level. It's got everything. Slots, drinking, a cat dressed as a chef, everything. And we gotta sneak through the kitchen where we come across the Mafia boss. And when you're going through a boss fight and you're like, that was a good boss fight, that's how you know it's a good boss fight. But immediately after, Mustache Girl betrays us and now we're enemies.
Used to have friends, now I got enemies.
But we move on to the next world to keep collecting hourglasses where we see a couple of birds getting into a fight. One kind of looks like Elvis and the other one looks like that egg dude from Pajama Sam. The first level here is some parkour through the sets of Hollywood, and I love the attention to detail where every little thing you touch or break, you're getting fined for. But at the end of it, it's still not as much as XQC is losing on stream gambling every single day.
No!
We gotta doctor our passport photo real quick and then legally become a bird, which isn't the weirdest thing to believe since I guess bees are now legally fish. We start the train level, which I've always famously referred to as the train level. But let me say that no train level will ever best the train level in this game. It starts off with some funny Q&As, moves into a Sherlock Holmes novel, and then into a game of telephone tag.
Can't just sneak around the train like this.
Grandma, how'd you get this number? But we gotta collect some evidence to figure out who killed Mr. Owl from the Tootsie Roll Pop commercials. I guess we'll never know how many licks it takes to get to the center.
1, 2, 3.
I do love the incorporation of the players' given answers as they lead to some good dialogue, but in the end it turns out it was the owl the whole time. Dude faked his death. It's okay, I did the same thing when my sister got married. The next level is basically Club Penguin. Yeah, this is exactly the same. Just as much swearing too. I'm gonna say the P word! And then we gotta lead a really obnoxious parade. And hey, if that's the weakest part of the game, that's not too bad to be honest. But this world remains unfinished as I don't have the proper powers to move on, so instead we're heading to Horrorland for Mario Party. We walk 5 steps and then suddenly get caught by a shadow-looking Mr. Meeseeks.
I'm Mr. Meeseeks, what you mean?
And he asks us to sell our soul away. Joke's on him though, I already did that when I signed my Twitch contract. And I can't believe this game predicted benches from Toontown. We gotta do some chores for the creepy ghost guy, which includes burning some pictures. Like this one was the Mona Lisa, this one was the Declaration of Independence, and this one just had a dude trapped in it a second ago, and I think that's technically murder. We do the well level next where we learn how to swing. I love swinging, like real swinging, not having sex with other people's wives. Unless... But any game that has a grappling hook gets bonus points. That's just the rules.
Grappling hook!
Then we move on to Luigi's mansion with a very inviting cellar door here. Yeah, I trust it. Inside the manor, we hear the scariest knock knock joke I've ever heard. Knock knock. But this section of the game legit plays like a horror game. The anxiety it gives is actually miles ahead of any Resident Evil. Ah! And then we get to be a mailman for a day.
Here's the mail, it never fails. It makes me wanna wag my tail. When it comes, I wanna wail.
And then we fight a toilet. Yeah, I know what I said. And it may shock you, but this boss fight is actually a banger. Most boss fights in this game are actual bangers. Don't believe me? Check out the next boss. Need I say more? Now with the grappling hook though, we can go back and finish the last of the train level. It's basically a speed run. The finale is short and sweet, and that doesn't seem right, because it turns out it's not. There's a conspiracy going on underneath the studios, and we gotta go in and find the undercover dirt. We sneak our way into a dressing room where someone hasn't been reading their fan mail, and head through more vents than a game of Among Us. And then we meet the final boss of the area, the conductor. And actually the final boss is just whichever one you choose to give the award to at the end. And then what else can I say about this boss except it's another banger. The next section is an open world area in the mountains, and I can't help but think of that one scene from Monsters, Inc.
Welcome to the Himalayas!
Snow cone?
We go ahead and blow this horn to open up the routes to each of the different mountains. You did what to the horn? And we start with the windmill, but actually we don't, because we don't have the right hat for anything yet, so we have to backtrack real quick. And I'm pretty sure I've seen this exact level in Mario Sunshine. But we finally get the furry mask so we can move on and do the next section. Back on track we go, and make sure you're going the right way so you don't miss a timepiece. We make it to the birdhouse and find a couple of lovebirds. They're gay. Happy Pride Month. And then to the volcano for some lava cake. And shout out to the game though for some very helpful words of wisdom. Did it just say death is inevitable? Over at the windmill, we get attacked by a shadow demon. No! And then face the biggest challenge of the mini golf course. Hundreds have tried and have all failed. But genuinely for a moment, this whole windmill section is such a blast to platform through. It's a bit of a struggle, but like it's a good struggle. And it helps highlight how good the movement in this game feels. And listening to the soundtrack while you do it, like, how do you not get goosebumps playing it? And after that, we do the Legend of Zelda Temple with a phasing mechanic from literally every other video game. And then the finale of this area is to save the world from the spores from The Last of Us. And then we gotta pull some weeds. Then we're back to the spaceship where we play as the villain for a minute. Bro, I can't believe they predicted The Last of Us 2. But all this leads up to the finale where all the characters in the game are lined up outside Bowser's castle, awaiting their judgment. But we're impatient, so we cut in line. Then we do that final level from Mario Sunshine, and we meet our maker. And you mean to tell me that everyone out in line is meant to do the same parkour before getting inside of the throne room? Because nuh-uh, no way. This guy definitely isn't making it across. But we get to the final boss and decide, nah. Okay, but really, we start the fight and get through the first phase, and then it turns into this mix of like Sans Undertale and then the shooting stars meme for some reason. And I wish I could show you how cool this fight is, but because there's just so much going on at once, it absolutely killed my bitrate. So I guess you'll just have to play it yourself to see how good it is. Honestly, pretty pog though. But then that's the game. I can't wait for a cat in time. The game definitely pulls a lot of inspiration from other 3D platformers. For sure, Mario Sunshine specifically. And this might be a hot take, but I think it does Mario Sunshine better than Nintendo did. The only downside I can think of is that it's short. But that does get solved a little bit with the DLC adding a couple new worlds as well as a hard mode to the game as well. This game also has these little bonus rifts that are some quick platforming puzzles very reminiscent of Mario Sunshine, like almost exactly the same, just with a new coat of paint. But I gotta say, because the controls feel smoother in this game, it makes them better and more fun than the ones in Mario. I feel like I have more freedom of movement and how to approach them, and they're a lot more forgiving and fun without taking away from the difficulty. There's also these purple rift puzzles that allow you to explore the lore of each world and let you learn more about it, giving completionists a fulfilling time. So even after you beat the game, you still have plenty to do. The mechanics, the story, the music, the themes, all of it together, I have to say makes this one of my very few 10 out of 10 games. Also, you can gamble.